Well, that clearly didn't work there with the transition, but that's all right. Get it sorted out for next time. Probably not. Welcome to the 2023 Tournament of Titans. Oop, that's a little bit off-sized, so let me fix that. There we go. 2023 Summer Tournament of Titans, coming to you live from the Metro Coffee Bar and Billiards at 3175 Kingsway, Vancouver, BC. Stop by, check him out. He's a big supporter of pool in the area. This tournament's run by Cody Graham. He does a lot of the tournaments out of the Metro. We've got 48 players today. I'll bring up the screen here in a minute. Just got to find the link so I can post it in the comments. Starting off today, Lito, Attendido, and Sean Seguin. I believe both guys are racing to 7. Handicapped 8-ball. Of course, they're playing even, so. There we go. So the bracket is pinned into the Facebook stream. Give me a minute and I'll get it over there on YouTube as well. Bit of a rush today. We've actually got 2 tables going on here right now. Oh no, just one. My bad. Thought for a second they had the second table up and running. Some of the folks that help out Billiards in the Lower Mainland will roll in that slideshow at the bottom center of your screen, including the main sponsor of the tournament, John Sparks, with All Hours Plumbing. Ooh, Sean got a unfortunate little roll on that 11 there. He's trying to get around it for the 1. Drove right into it, though. Gonna have to kick it 2 rails. 1 might work, but he's going to want to come off. Oop, let me turn that on. Whoa. Let me turn that off. Oh, that's unfortunate. The old telestrator's acting up. We'll see how that goes in a bit. That's the hazard of 8-ball. If you don't get out and you let your opponent back at the table, he's got too many options and no obstacles. That was the case there. So there it is. All hours plumbing, Mr. John Sparks. Call him for all of your plumbing needs. It's been a couple weeks since we've done one of these. Well, it's been a while since we've done a tournament of Titans. I know there's been a few other events at the Metro that have been going on. And ding. Let's see. Let's get the challenge bracket up there. We'll pop over to that after this rack. Lido to break. Rack number 2. It's going to get a couple of low balls. 1 ball, the problem ball right now, but he can go after it right off this 2. So you can clear out that 1 by taking the 2 right now and then work the rest of it from there. Now there's different pieces of advice for running an 8-ball rack. Pick your last ball before the 8 and work backwards. And then solve your problem balls early. If you make a mistake now, odds are your opponent has some objects in the road, and it's a lot more difficult for him to run out. If you get 3/4 of the way or you run 7 and don't get a look at the 8, what was the point? What's that saying? If you can't run 6, don't run 8. Something like that. Leave a couple out there. Eight ball is very much a game of table management. And that's exactly what he does. Goes after the 1 right away. Now, depending on what his angle is here, if he can slide by that 15 and get a look at the 5 up in the bottom right, that might be where he goes next. And then he can work the 3 and the 6 from there. If he can't go past that 15, he's going to draw back and try and take the 3 in the side. 6 ball's a little tricky because it looks like it's partially blocked from that top right corner pocket. It might go. Position on the 3 is important here. He'd love to be right there. Just a little off angle so he can cut the 3 in and roll the cue ball up towards that side rail without being in danger of scratching. He'll probably stun this into the rail and bounce it out. It might be too straight to stun into the rail. No, he just rolled it forward. And look at that. Perfect. He can cheat the pocket on the 3 Played into the right-hand side. Well, he may play it just straight in because it's right at the left edge of the pocket already. So if he does cheat it, he doesn't have to cheat it much. He can put it in the center of the pocket. And you see where he's going with the cue ball. 48 players. It's a 2-dayer, folks. We'll be here all day today. These matches are timed. You do have a start time, so there won't be any waiting around, starting early, figuring out what's going on. It's just going to be get it up, get it done. Your match starts in another hour or whatever. Cody Graham is there running it, keeping it smooth. And if you hadn't noticed, this is brought to you via the ELO stream system from ELO Sports, Mr. Justin Lee. On it in the wee hours this morning, making sure I had the feed at an unholy hour. I know he was probably just up playing until that time. Playing pool. Lido with a picture-perfect tic-tac-toe run-out. No issues. Just setting up the instant replay. Get that started. And there we go. Before he breaks, this is our tournament here. "48 players. It's alternating break, so it's not win or break. Pretty much a who's who of pool in the Lower Mainland. Missing some names up there, but still quite a few. Not a bad break. It's got a little unlucky that the cluster reformed over by the 8-ball. So what would you take here? Oh, you know, I forgot to put the social stuff going. There we go. Mr. Michael Scott. Hey, no problem. challenge bracket pinned to both Facebook and the YouTube stream. Sean trying to go one rail into this 15. Needs to have some speed to come out of it. Oh, that might not get there. Stretched out over the table like that, it's hard to get your speed right. He needed a bit more than that. Would have liked to have hit it at about half ball as well. That kind of separates everything and gets the cue ball back out into the center of the table a little bit more. Now he's got to contend with cueing over the 6 a little bit to shoot that 14. And it doesn't lead to anything because going forward, the 12 and the 13 don't go to the side. So he may end up trying to shoot this 11 ball in the side pocket. It's not ideal, but it might be your highest percentage play. Oh, that message from Mike might have been from the last stream. Yeah, well, it happens. Oh, he can cue right beside the 6. I guess he's going to be able to draw it back. Nicely done. The only problem is he's still working on the 11. He's recovering from his breakout attempt. It's going to usually takes at least 2 balls to recover. Right? So plan on 2 balls for recovery. And hopefully you can set yourself back up for another kick at the can, so to speak. Now, if he can slide by the 4, go right at the 3, it's risky because you do have the chance of sliding right past the 3 as well. You may want to go into the 11 and try and push the 11 to the end rail and get the cue ball clear. Does the 11 have a path through there? It might just have enough room to go by. I didn't even entertain that until I saw where the cue ball was going off of his 12 ball. It's tight. Wow. And Lito gives it up. It's tight. Wow. All right. While he racks, we'll go over. Oops. That's not it. We'll go over the bracket. As you see, they've got 6 tables in the hall, so these 6 matches at a time. John Carrier and Curtis George, Sean Seguin, Lito Andedito, Doug Lowe, Stefan Cotaccini, Mike Isaac and Paul Comte, Mason Mackey and Animesh Huda, Jacob Larson and Rahul Dhanendran, Catherine Robertson and Scott Davis. That'll be a good match. Deepak Hemnani and Joko Yelong, 2 guys that have been on this stream before. Andrew Wroblewski and Don Davidson. That'll be a good match. Utkar Zoting and Martin Raymond. Chris Greenwood, Joe the Hitman Silva. Al Damji, Sasha Cotaccini, Stefan Folan and Lee Kitson. Gary Sankey, Mike Scott. Grant Goulet, Dave Allen, Sean Telbin, and Justin Lee. Waiting in the next round with a bye are Nat Henry, Nikki Thomas, Cass Holmberg, Bien Lim, Sonny Rattan, Tyler Chan, Tony Jacobs, Martin Weatherby, Chris McAlow, Iris Wang, Dave Coughlin, Jamie Ishii, Bree Garcia, Scott Chalmers, John Hunter, and Neil Ram. Several of those people have done very well in these tournaments, so it'll be nice to see them shooting again. Meanwhile, Lito. Working on the high ball. Gonna get rid of the 11 here. Needs to clear that pocket out for the 12. He would, well, maybe he's not. Maybe he's gonna work the other end of the table. I would have thought he'd take the 11 here. He needs to get back over for the 15 at some point. It's not imperative to do it now. But it all depends on how you want to play this. Whether you're going to play this with top right and run around the 1 and 4, or back bottom left there and come back. Again, he's just trying to figure out how he can work the 13-10. Didn't like the angle on the 12, I guess. Oh, nope, that was all right. I thought that was going to bump that 8 right onto the 14. He'll use the 10 to get back for the 15 now. An option to that is to come out to the center of the table and play the 14, then the 15. But I don't believe you want to use the 12 as your last ball. Oh, this could be interesting. He's now got awkward cueing to play the 15. He's not going to want to play it. You see him tap the table with the chalk there. He doesn't want to play this one this way, because now he has to roll forward. That's going to give him a steeper angle on the 12 than he originally wanted. You do not want to have to play any sort of left or right spin when you're jacked up over a ball, so he'll just roll this in, trying to get pocket weight. Oh, looks like he's gearing up to hit it with some speed. He always fools me, though. Well, that leaves some work to be done for Sean. In the meantime, folks, my coffee is ready. So I am going to go and grab a cup. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Got coffee, got the air conditioning going. It's going to be a hot one. It's been pretty hot all week. And it's going to be hot inside the venue. It's not so bad yet. Oh, it won't be that bad today, actually. So it's only going to get up to about 26. So, not so bad. It was in the low to mid 30s earlier this week. Sean just missing his line a little bit. I was trying to figure out how much that was in Fahrenheit, but it's not doing the quick and easy cheating method and putting it up for me. So get to about 80 today, so not too bad. Humidity will be about 75%, but you know, that's the only part that makes it somewhat bad. But enough about the weather. See if Sean can pot the one ball without having the cue ball followed in. He's gonna have to jack up to get any sort of backspin on this cue ball. Yeah, you jack up and you lose accuracy. Ooh, a little bit of frustration there. Happens to all of us. Most of us, anyway. I myself have never experienced frustration. I can't even finish the sentence. Wonder if Lito's going to try and draw off this 15 and stay inside the 2. He is. He'll take the 12 now and just come back into the center of the table. Not quite the line he was hoping for. He would have preferred to have been a little bit further out here. Oh, there we go. Telestrator's working again. How handy is that? He'll just draw off this 14 into that top rail. Bounce back out to take the 8 in the same corner pocket. No! Ha! He fooled me. Played the carom. Played it perfect. Sean will give that up. Sean and Lito have played enough times. They respect each other's game. And when they know the other person isn't going to have a whoopsie, then they'll just give it up. I don't mind that. Keeps the tournament going. It's only really a sharking technique if you do it wrong. And by doing it wrong, you know, that would be like letting your opponent get down over the ball and then just before he shoots saying, yeah, you got it. You know, not cool. Let's see. Just a reminder, sponsor for Kickin' Billiards is Crystal Palace Cues. check them out. They've got quite the assortment. Based in Winnipeg, Manitoba, I believe. So if anybody's been following professional pool, man, the last few weeks have just been awesome. We had the Spanish Open with a lot of upsets there, some great new faces. Not really new faces, but if you follow the professional scene, these are guys that have hung around the middle of the pack, you know, maybe in the top third, but not quite broken through. The Vietnamese fellow that I can't remember his name, Huang. I'm probably saying that horribly. I apologize. He played fantastic and was such a gentleman on and off the table from everything that I've read. It was really cool to see. And then, of course, Ding Junhui, I think is his name. Wow. He played amazing. Skylar Woodward did well. And Mark Biesterbosch getting into the final. Man, he had like 3 or 4 hill matches. Unbelievable. And then the World Cup of Pool. It's a great time to be a pool fan, man. All the events that Matchroom is doing, that Predator's doing. Plus, you have, you know, the standard WPBA, the Women's Professional League. Soaring Eagle is coming up soon, isn't it? If it's not this weekend. Nope, next weekend. The Soaring Eagle Masters. July 12th. Just a little bit of a break in the Matchroom schedule, but up next would be July 21st, McGoldrick's in Glasgow, Scotland, the Jacoby 9-Ball Open. Keep an eye out for that. Actually, it's not even up next. They got it in the wrong order. Big Dog Billiards. The Big Dog 9-Ball in Des Moines, Iowa. At the Midwest Billiards and Q Expo. That'll be on Pool Action TV. It is a ranking event. Sean with his kick of the cat, taking high ball. Not really any problems. That 10 ball might be the trickiest one. If he can get started with the 14, that's looking good. Yeah, he's kind of overshot. Well, overshot or undershot, depends on where he was going. Probably has to take the 9 from here. You got to be careful you don't hit the 1. You don't want to knock that 1 in front of the 13. I think he'll bump it, but he's probably going to hit it thin enough that he doesn't have to worry too much about it. You just want that cue ball to come off the end rail. About 4 to 5 inches if you can. It's going to do more than that just with the angle he's got. Well, he was able to drive the 1 into the 13. It looks like it's separated enough. He should be off and running. Get 1 back. Don't let Lido get a 3-game lead on him. They're racing to 7. Here at the 2023 Summer Tournament of Titans. There's no green fees, no admin fees. 100% of the money is paid back out today and tomorrow. There's time scheduled matches, so I will probably, depending on how quickly they stop and start, I'll probably be stopping and restarting the stream as we go. he didn't take the 13. I thought that was going to be okay, but maybe it's hampered by the 1. It doesn't look like it is. Just got to make sure he doesn't get hampered by the 7, and he's going to push it out of the way, so he should be good. Nothing in the road now. Just needs to keep control of the cue ball. A lot easier said than done. And you saw where he pointed over here, right? That's because he wants to get on this side of that line. And he's done it. So now it's a little trickier from here, because instead of just rolling forward from over here, he could roll into the rail and spin out. Now he may want to just draw off of it. He could stun into the rail and spin over, but it's a lot harder to get your weight control that way. The more you slide the cue ball, the harder it is to control its weight. The more you can roll it, the easier it is. Just a reminder, the next big Matchroom event, even though it's not a major, is the Sharks International Open from Quezon City, Philippines. It's $100,000 prize. I don't know if that's added or prize money. I think it's just total prize money. July 24th to the 29th. So it seems like there's no more than like a couple weeks break in between any of these events. So we've got pool basically every other weekend. Sean shouldn't have too much of a problem with this. It's just getting the aim right, because, well, that is pretty much a scratch shot, so he's got to draw off of it really quickly, but it's not hard to do because he can get that cue ball to spin off of it fairly easily, fairly quickly. But it was a shot that Lita wouldn't give him just because there is that risk of a scratch. So Sean only trailing 3-2 now. Oh, it's a race. It says race to 5, but these guys are going to go to, I think these guys are going to 7. I think they just didn't change that on the score sheet thing, but that's all right. Has to say something, I think. Lido breaking rack number 6, and it's going to come up dry. Hasn't given anything nice away. Sean with some work to do to start. Sean gonna play the 3-13 combination. Start running right there. Needs to get clear of the one. Looks like he has done. Now it's risky, but he can take this 10 to the side and go into the 14-9. If he's real fortunate, he might even get a look at that 11 right off of this shot. Doesn't want that 6 to roll now. Your 9 ball is now all of a sudden a big problem. He may elect to knock the 6 out of the way. Play the 15 into the rail, into the 6. You'll make the 15, but you've got to push that 6 up the rail past the 9, not into the 9. You can probably hold the cue ball there for the 14. Hey, kitty cat. Cat walks into the office. There you go. That worked out beautifully. So now it's just figuring out the pattern for these last 4 balls. You know, if you can do the 14 and get up in for the 9, that angle should be fairly easy to manipulate and find with your cue ball, because it's basically going to be center ball with just a hair of right. So you can stun it into the rail, send it up table. You've got a large margin of error here. If you get right on the 9, you can stop for the 11, stun across for the 12. My specialty is not 8 ball though, so that might not be the best way of doing it. You guys see a pattern you like here? Starting with the 14, obviously, but you don't have to type the explanation, just type the balls. Oh, and he's hit it. How'd he hit it? I think he hit it well enough. He's got a little bit more angle than he wanted, but he should be able to make this and just gently go towards the 11. He doesn't need to go far. No, he's going to roll forward. He's going to go after the 12 right now. Come 2 rails. Yeah, 12 now in the bottom right corner, and then he'll use the angle on the 11 to go 1 rail for the 8. Or maybe it looks like he's got a little bit of angle towards the side. So I was thinking if he could cut the 11 into the right hand edge of the pocket here, he could draw off of it over to here. Yeah, no, he doesn't like it. He's going to go with that 12 up the rail. Just doesn't want to be on the rail here. Perfect. Now what I would do here is shoot the 11 in the corner, bring the cue ball up towards the middle of the table, and probably go far enough to hook myself with the 5. Sean will probably stop it short and leave himself perfect on the 8. Yeah, maybe not perfect. Actually, he's got a little bit of danger here. It's not, well, depending on exactly, see, the problem is you don't know exactly how you're going to hit the 6, how it's going, whether it's going to hit the 5, but he could scratch in the side here. It looks like he's going to play the cue ball into the 6 and just roll up that way. He'll miss the side. Oh, but he's missed the 8. No, just in the side door. 8 ball drops. Watch that again as he just gets the 8 ball to almost Nike in the bottom of the pocket there. So Sean tying it up 3-3 in this race to 7. This is the Vancouver 2023 Summer Tournament of Titans, coming to you from the Metro Coffee Bar and Billiards, 3175 Kingsway, Vancouver, BC. If you're traveling up this way, make a point of stopping in. We've got some pretty nice little sandwiches there, some good staff, 7-foot blue label diamond tables. They've got 6 of them. And if you message ahead on their Facebook page, you might even be able to find a game. Somebody's almost always down there willing to play for a little bit anyway. Let me just do a little bit more sharing here. Share to a group. And we'll get that ad off there. Sorry about that. Should have taken that off after I read it out. Main sponsor of the tournament, Mr. Johnny Sparks at All Hours Plumbing in the Vancouver area. Call him for all of your plumbing needs. The rest of the sponsors down there are not really sponsors, but they're pool players and guys and people, men and women that have helped out the sport in our area. And so if the least I can do is run their logo or their ad. Karma tattoo. My brother's getting a tattoo there, actually. Huge thing. You get one, you can't stop. Pretty cool. It's turning out really nice, actually. Check out their Facebook reels, too. He's got some real cool reels. I really like what he's doing over there. And sometimes Sean stands so still, I think the cameras froze. It's a little bit of a fear of mine, because when I first started doing this, I was trying to do it with really cheap cameras and they kept freezing. So I keep freaking out that the camera froze again. No, these ones aren't supposed to do that. He's just trying to figure out how he can keep the cue ball in position off of this. I think he's going to have to come one rail in between the 3 and the 13, give that 10 ball a little nudge and hold there for the 13. Or he may just carry him into the 3. I think he wanted to get onto the... Well, the 13's opened up now, and the 10 goes up past the 2. So now it's all about, I mean, you have to take the 10 now, I think. If he can get the right line on the 9, which the right line on the 9 is going to be tough to do. You won't have much room past the 5. If you miss it, you still got the 13 and you got another chance to come in off the end rail for the 13 to the 9. But it's still going to be tricky to go from the 9 to the 8. Not easy. Not easy. Gotta get there off this 10. It'll make his life so much easier for this rack. I think that's going to work. He's a little bit, about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch farther than I thought he would want to be, but he should be able to draw off this 9 into the 5 and still get a good look at the 13. So just a little draw. You only want to come back about 6 inches, just enough to hit the 5 and clear it. You don't want to send the 5 to block the 8 into that top side pocket in case that's your best option. Delicate couple of shots here. It's a little harder than I expected, but still workable. If he tries to draw straight off of this 13, he's really close to the 8 when he shoots it into the side pocket. Oh. Just gonna roll it in with a little bit of side. No, stuns it in. He's going to be on the rail. He's not going to have to worry about scratching, though. Catching up on everything. We both changed in the best ways, and this could turn into anything. And as we wind down, you say it's nice to hear from you now. And I swear that you could hear me. Just make the pot, you'll stay safe with the cue ball. Tough enough being on the rail like that. There it is. Guy shoots straight. Down 3-1. He's taken the next 3 racks to go back into the lead. 4-3. There's your draw. We do have one result in. Curtis George has defeated John Carrier 4-1. So he'll take on Nat Henry in the next round. That should put Catherine Robinson and Scott Davis up next. If anybody's actually watching from the venue, if you can just throw in the messages there, any scores that you see, that'd be awesome. That we can follow along. I think the guys are taking a quick break. Speaking of quick breaks, oh, that's supposed to mute that mic. Doesn't seem to be working. Interesting. Rack number 8. I believe that's going to bring Lito Attendido to the breaking end of the table. Watch the 2 and the 9. Those are a couple of pretty common balls to go on the break. I think from here you're going to watch the 2 try and bank towards that top side pocket, if I'm correct. It's been a while since I've watched the 8-ball break, but... Oh, it was going. It was going, but the problem with 8-ball breaks is you don't... They're really unpredictable because you have so many chaotic collisions, especially on that break shot where everything's running into everything else. It's always tricky. Sean being as careful as he can to lift out the template. I know a lot of people hate the template, but I'm so bad at racking. The template just makes my life so much easier. So Lito breaking dry is going to bring Sean back up to the table. This one's got a little bit of a issue to solve with that top side pocket. A little bit of a cluster around the head, the foot spot. For those of you that don't know, most of us, if you're on this stream, you're probably a pool player and you probably know, but for anybody who just stumbles into the room, this is your foot spot. And there would be a corresponding head spot there. This is called the head string. Sometimes known as the kitchen in this area. That whole area there. Well, not really sure what his plan is here. I know Sean has one. Cutting the 1 ball in, trying to break the 7 free. He needs to push that 13 into the pocket or back out into the center of the table. It looks like he's going to hit the 7 here. He might make this even worse, putting the 7 on the rail by the 10. It's got to have some speed, so could be okay. Well, he got the 7 out, but he's tied up the 2-5, and there's no ball over there to use as a breakout. That 2 might squeeze in the side, but from there, that is one tough angle. Sean's a very methodical player. When the rack is wide open, he knows what to do. He's fairly good speed. But when the rack gets like this, you know, he's very smart. He'll take his time and he'll work it out. That's probably where some of us struggle is we'll shoot this and see what happens. And Sean doesn't tend to do a lot of that. He'll wait until he figures it out and then he'll try and execute. Now he's in for it. You know, he may elect to... Wow, this... I'm coming up with just crazy stuff here. Thin the 5, play the cue ball 1, maybe 2 rails, snuggle up inside the back of the 2, but the 5 ball's got to be so thin. You may elect to just kick at the 2. But if you kick at it, you open up the 9. Oh, and that's a ball in hand anyway. It wasn't it? He didn't hit anything in there, did he? He didn't hit the 5, did he? No. 5 ball didn't move at all. For a split second there when he shot it, I thought he just ticky-tacked to the 5 there, made it rock in place. And sometimes, you know, you've got to have somebody watching that. Because if you're too far away from the table, you won't see that shake. Anytime your opponent's going to be kicking into a cluster, just call a ref. And if you're the player that calls the ref and he's shooting, well, look away. Don't watch the shot. Rely on the ref to make the call. That's his job. If you disagree with the call, you can't have an opinion at that point. Because if you call the ref, look away, you have to trust the ref makes the good call. Whether it's good or bad, you have to go with it. And at least that way you won't get upset if it's a call that you disagree with. So call the ref, look away, let him make the call, good or bad, and let it go. It's hard as a ref. I've made some bad calls in my time. Apologies to every player that I've given a bad call to. That being said, I hate refereeing shots. Lito with the 12, bottom side pocket. Not sure he wanted to stay there. He's going to get rid of the 13, though. Depending on the angle, he'll go after the 15 or the 14 next. Well, it's definitely going to be the 15, but now he might not even be able to get after the 10. I mean, leaving the 10 until you get to get on the 15, that's not the worst thing in the world either. It's a pretty standard shot. It's just you know, kind of like to take that shot out of the equation. I think he's going to draw it into the rail that he's standing at and back out for the 14. And then just play the cue ball into the center of the table from there. Oh, straight in again. He's got some angle. He's just checking it now. Okay, so it's not as straight as it looks. Yeah. He's got a little bit of angle there. Where's my foot pedal? There we go. Well, that's not ideal. You can play the bank, though. Bank it. I know those angles aren't right. And get that cue ball into here. that gives you two opposing quarters of the table to make it difficult for him to play a safety on. And there's the call. Bank, bottom left corner pocket. He'll bring the cue ball just 2 rails. Doesn't want to go too far. Well, he's gone a little farther than he wanted. That might open the 5 up to the side pocket. Now that I look at that angle, probably not. But it does give Sean a little bit of an opportunity to move the 2 ball over the side pocket and try and play a little bit of a safe here. He's going to leave a shot. He just wants to leave the lowest percentage shot that he possibly can. He might be kicking at the 5. The only problem with that is you see, like, well, he can straighten the cue ball out, I guess. But he's going to be kind of coming into it like that and kicking it. So the cue ball's going to drift this way a little bit. If it comes too far, he'll sell that 15 ball out real quick. Want to hit it as full as you can. See, if he hits that a little bit more full, the cue ball stops over here instead of over here. Now, I think he's done all right. In that Lido really probably won't take the 15 because the 8 ball is going to cause it to have some issues. Oh, he may be forced to play it. 8 ball's gonna go for a ride if he hits it hard enough to get down there for the 10. No, he's just checking angles. Just checking angles. He'll thin the 10 in. Come up past the 5. Probably 2 rails here. End rail, end rail. Oh, he's going to run into the 15. No, he's going to thread the needle and get right up on the 15. Well, that is not where he wanted to be. Little unfortunate to have that cue ball settle in right tight to that 15 like that. Just checking to see if it's frozen. As it is, he'll probably push that 15 to the side rail and get that cue ball in behind it. At least not give up the 2. He'll give up the 5. Oh, 15 balls come out. He's given up the 2. Sean will take it and run. Well, you know what? I mean, the pattern, no, because getting from the 2 to the 8, if he's not perfectly straight in, is just nasty. The 5 ball's far enough off the side, you can run your cue ball all the way down to the end rail, and you'll be in good shape to get back up for the 8. Just needs to get down to the end rail. Might be a little close to the 8, but he should be a few inches off of it. About 3 or 4 inches above it. Oh yeah, he's got lots of room. Hits it perfect when it counts. This 8-ball drop, Sean will take a 5-3 lead. What a comeback from being down 3-1. Now we just need to reverse the fortunes again and have another comeback and a lead change and get Hill. There it is, 5-3. Sean Seguin leads Alito Attendido. Remember, check out Crystal Palace cues, cases, and accessories. So, I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm going to wander away back and forth here as I make some food. So, I won't be gone long for any stretch of time. Just, gotta make a bagel. Toast a bagel? I'm not gonna make it. It's already made. West Coast Billiards. Simon Pickering. He's importing a table from Italy that is just beautiful, amazing craftsmanship. Plus he makes his own tables, and he made a custom table a little while ago that was a dining room pool table combination. Absolutely beautiful. Check out his webpage. I believe it's just westcoastbilliards.ca. Yeah, westcoastbilliards.ca. Amazing tables. $10:30 Saturday morning, 10:25 if you want to be particular. This is the Summer Tournament of Titans. Sean Seguin and Lito Attendido. If you're just joining us, Sean has come back from a 3-1 deficit to take a 5-3 lead. They're actually racing to 7, so whatever the number is behind the name of the player, that is what they're racing to. Most of the folks will be racing to 5. There's quite a few that will be racing to 6. There's a few that'll be racing to 4. Some that are racing to 7. There's not very many that are racing to 7. I think it's just these two, actually. And then there is one that's racing to 8, Mr. Stephen Folan. He's gone down to the US Open a couple times now, I think. That's one of the guys that we're actually missing is Simon Pickering. He's not on the list today. Lito, just a little funny on the 6, but I don't think that's where he was going anyway. It's got lots of options on the 6. Doesn't need to take it now. Needs to get that 4 out of the way. Probably take the 2 here and come 2 rails for the 4. Oh, squeezes between the 13 and the 9. Lands perfect on the 4. So now you've got the 4, 7, 6, 8. Just work it like a wheel. That 7, 6, 8 finish is not really ideal, but I don't see a better way of doing it. Oh, so straight on the 4, he's drawn out of it. Still leaving the 7 to get to the 8. I don't know. You have to move the cue ball quite a lot to get around. But Lido can move the cue ball fairly well, so you probably won't have too much of an issue with it. Just wants it to come off the rail to be able to play that 8 in that bottom side pocket. He'll slide off the 7. Little bump just about halfway to that first diamond. Maybe 3/4 of the way, and then come out about 4 inches off the rail. A little bit further, but that's even better. Congratulations to Stan Taranto, who took down the Northwest Open a week or two ago. And shout out to David Ringler and Jesse. Sorry, Jesse, your last name is falling out of my brain at the moment. Bowman? No. Bergman. Jesse Bergman. That's it. For running that. That looked like a lot of work. I tried to watch some of it, but at the same time, the Spanish Open and the World Cup of Pool were on, and yeah, I'm a bit of a pro pool fanatic, so I was watching a lot of that. But this match, now 5-4, Lido trailing only by 1. I believe it's Sean's break now. Some more results in. Doug Lowe defeated Stefan Cotaccini 6-1. Mason Mackey took out Animesh Huda 6-2, and Rahul Dhanendran defeated Jacob Larson 6-3. Oh, he's on the hill. Close. So that was a hill match. Mike Isaac still playing Paul Comte. Deepak Hemnani and Joko Yalong playing Andrew Wroblewski, probably underway with Don Davidson now. Don't see the times of the match, but they are probably issued at the venue, so all these players know when they're starting. It's actually done really well the last few times. Uh-oh. Is my program stalled? I might have an issue with my software here. Give me 1 second here. We seem to have lost the feed, folks. I will work on this. We'll get this sorted out right away. In the meantime, I'll put that draw sheet back up while I work on this. I think the guys might have accidentally shut off the stream, because it looks like they're messing around with the score, and it looks like they turned it off. Oh, because the race to 5 was set, so as soon as somebody hit 5, it probably wouldn't let them go any higher. Oh yeah, that's a whoops. Whoops. We'll get it figured out. We'll bring it right back. In the meantime, still working on it. But this is getting closer and closer to actually happening. Supposed to restart. Eventually, we'll get this off the ground. Just don't have a lot of time to work on it. Gotta finish a few other projects in the house, and then I can get on this fullish time. What I'm looking for. In the meantime, just waiting for them to see if they can get that camera back up and running. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think that's exactly what's happened, is they've just accidentally turned off the stream, and so we'll just wait a few minutes, and hopefully we get back in short order here. I know Justin Lee is playing, but he's not playing for a little while, so he might not be there till noon. But maybe one of the other fellows that's there can head over there and restart that stream. We're doing this remotely, and if they set it up right, it works really, really well. It's fairly new, so some of the players are still figuring it out, and that's why we have stuff like this happen. But hopefully they can restart that. We'll give them a few more minutes, and if it doesn't start up, well, I just have one picture to stream. It's not really much of a tournament to stream, is it? And then we'll come back when they get the camera up and ready. But I don't want to end the stream yet. I'll at least give them a chance to restart it and see where we go from there. Maybe we can run through some replay. That was supposed to play all. See if it works this time. That was the 15 ball that Sean squeaked through. Another 8 ball that just finds the bottom of the pocket. And then this is the one where we thought he might have just touched the 5, but that had to have been so close. Well, user error. Sometimes it happens. The guys have shut off the stream. Pretty sure. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. They were looking at the scoreboard in this last frame here. And it looks like they have accidentally shut it off. Okay, they're not going to get the feedback up and running, so I'm going to stop the stream here, and we'll restart for the next match, which will be Don Davidson and Andrew Wroblewski, and that'll be up shortly. But so keep an eye out for that. We'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks for stopping by, folks. We'll be back in probably 15-20 minutes, I guess. See you soon.